They say the Nazis burned books. They say Rome fell because of rot. But no one tells you about the day the Tigris River turned black. Not with oil, with ink, with ideas. 1258. The House of Wisdom, the most powerful research institution the world had ever seen, was burned alive. And here's the twist. It didn't die by accident. It was executed. Baghdad wasn't some exotic city. It was the nerve center of the planet. Doctors who rivaled today's surgeons. Engineers building machines that shouldn't have existed yet. And one invention so ahead of its time. It could have brought computing 600 years early, until it was drowned. By design. This wasn't a war. It was a hit job on intelligence itself, a targeted deletion of Arab genius. And in this episode, we expose what was in that library, who erased it, and the machine that could have rewritten history. Baghdad, 800s to 1200s CE. Not just a city, a supercomputer of civilization. Streets were paved, hospitals were free, scholars were paid to invent. While Europe blamed comets for disease, Baghdad measured their trajectories. While kings burned heretics, Baghdad invited them in. At the heart of this empire was Beit al-Hikmah, the House of Wisdom, a global think tank translating texts from Sanskrit, Greek, Syriac, Latin, and Persian. Astronomers tracked stars with instruments modern eyes would still recognize. Mathematicians calculated the Earth's size. Engineers built devices that moved on their own. The House of Wisdom was Google, NASA, and the Library of Alexandria fused into one. And it was open to anyone with a mind. This wasn't just about books. This was a system of knowledge, a software upgrade for civilization itself. From Yemen to Morocco, it connected a world of brilliance. But something darker loomed on the horizon, and it hated what Baghdad represented. 1258. Hulagu Khan, grandson of Genghis, rides with blood on his mind. Baghdad is his target, not for wealth, but for erasure. The Caliph, al-Mustasim, underestimates him and refuses to surrender. The Mongols surround the city. 200,000 troops, walls fall, streets fill with blood. Children are butchered, mosques torched. But the final blow? It wasn't physical. It was intellectual genocide. They storm the House of Wisdom. They don't loot it. They hurl centuries of science into the river. Ink leaks from thousands of pages. The river turns black. The Tigris bleeds intelligence. Manuscripts used as stepping stones. Knowledge trampled by war horses. Legend says it took 6 months for the river to run clear. But here's where things spiral. This wasn't just conquest. It was a calculated strike on knowledge itself. Whispers say Baghdad was betrayed. That someone fed Hulagu a reason, a roadmap, a target list. And the Mongols didn't act alone. Let's ask the question no one dares ask. Why destroy the House of Wisdom? Why not sell the books? Use the knowledge, claim it? Unless someone wanted Arab genius erased. Some say rival caliphates, jealous of Baghdad's dominance, tipped off the Mongols. Others whisper of European crusaders, threatened by the rise of Muslim intellect, pulling strings behind the scenes. One account even suggests secret lists of which texts to destroy first. This wasn't a library fire. This was a surgical strike, and what was lost will haunt you. Because in the next few minutes, you'll learn about a machine inside that library. That could have changed the future. Among the millions of pages turned to sludge, one loss hurts the most. The Book of Balance. Referenced only through third-hand documents, it described a machine with programmable settings, weight-based logic, and predictive outputs. Let's be clear. This wasn't a clock. This was a mechanical decision engine. Inputs, water levels, population, crop yield, outputs, predictions, a data brain, centuries before computing was supposed to exist, and the tech wasn't imaginary. Al-Jazari had already built water robots, programmable automata, gear-based logic devices. The Book of Balance. It may have been the missing link. If Baghdad had lasted another 100 years, you might have had calculators in the 1300s, AI in the Enlightenment, satellites before steam engines, but it didn't survive. Someone made sure of that. And when the House of Wisdom fell, the prototype was lost, possibly forever. Baghdad wasn't just the future. It was the alternative timeline. The proof that empires could be built on brains, not blood. The House of Wisdom was a system, one that rewarded knowledge, elevated debate, and connected scholars across continents. Even in ashes, its echoes remain. Algebra, algorithms, medical texts, star charts, maps used by European explorers. But what didn't survive? Possibly surgery techniques, physics treatises, machine logic, proto-calculus, even a working scientific method. Europe's Renaissance didn't emerge from nowhere. It rose from Baghdad's ruins. But the West wrote the script and buried the source. If the House of Wisdom survived, the West wouldn't have led. It would have followed. One more question. If the House of Wisdom lived, would we have computers in 1500? Global internet in 1700? AI before America? Was the future delayed by a river full of drowned knowledge? We can't rewind time, but we can resurrect what was hidden. That's what the Arab Files is for. And if this shocked you, Episode 3 will haunt you, because an empire rose from the ashes. One so powerful, it scared the world, then vanished. In 3 days, you've just witnessed the largest intellectual execution in history. A city burned, a future erased, a code buried under boots and ink. But that legacy, it didn't vanish. It's in you. Now it's time to resurrect it. Subscribe, because in Episode 3, we're exposing an Arab empire that rose with no bloodshed and vanished in less than 72 hours. It's one of the most forbidden stories in Islamic history, and they don't want you to see it. They didn't just torch Baghdad, they murdered memory. But today, you just dragged it back into the light. You now know. The House of Wisdom was a real place. Its knowledge was global. Its destruction was intentional. And you've just scratched the surface. Because up next, we chase a ghost empire, a force that defied the rules, rewrote the script, and vanished in the blink of an eye. From Marrakesh to Muscat, it changed the map. Then, it was deleted. Subscribe to the Arab Files, because we're not just telling stories, we're resurrecting a buried civilization, one file at a time.